Is self-defense for a Christian, is it a sin? Is it okay that if someone is going to attack you or you know you're going to be attacked, is it okay to defend yourself? Well, the answer is yes. There might be some, though, that think that that's not the case. But think about this. There are people now, especially today, that are brazen in their attacks on just individuals, even as a matter of fact, in some cases, especially on people in church.
Audience as well. We are about two and a half weeks in. Hey.
Now, thank God the man didn't have a gun, and thank God that the preacher, I'm not sure if it was the pastor or not, I think it's the pastor, was not hurt, and that there were men there to kind of help and so forth. I am a firm believer that churches ought to be armed. There ought to be people there who can protect the people in the church, the pastor, those preaching, because if you're on the pulpit, you're probably vulnerable, and there are others that are in the audience that are also vulnerable. Churches become a target, just like everyone else really is a target, and so there needs to be some sort of defense there. Notice, though, in the Bible, what the Bible is telling us, and we can kind of get an understanding. Jesus says this. He says, and he said to them, but now whoever has a money belt and is to take it along, likewise also a bag, and whoever has no sword is to sell his coat and buy one. Buy one what? Buy a sword. Well, they didn't have guns then, and so he tells them buy a sword. One, you got to eat. How do you kill an animal without a sword? And also, how do you defend yourself? And we know they use those for defense because when Jesus is getting ready to be arrested, matter of fact, when he's getting arrested, notice what's stated here in Luke 22:49. A few verses later, he says, when those who were around him saw what was going to happen, they said, Lord, shall we strike with the sword? So they had swords with them, and they're asking, should we use it? Well, no, Jesus understands the point now that he is about to be betrayed, and so he needs to be taken away. I don't want you to defend me, although there is a time for self-defense. Remember, the Bible tells us that if a person, notice in this case, but if anyone does not provide, and word provide, pornoe, which is to take care of, to keep safe, to try to look out for, to provide. If that person doesn't do that for his own, then he is worse than an unbeliever. And so you need to protect your livelihood as well, protect your family. And so without question, it is perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, even wise to do so. Have something at the ready to do so. And so if a Christian has a gun or has a weapon to protect himself, more than okay. More than okay. Wait a minute, Corey. Aren't we told that we should turn the other cheek? The Bible does say, Jesus says that you should, if someone slaps you, resist the evil person. He says to whoever slaps you, turn the other cheek. Well, he's speaking about when someone, and this pretty much idiomatically, because a slap is meant to, and even today, a slap is meant to incur shame. Not necessarily hurt someone. You don't really die from a slap. I suppose you could if someone slaps you hard enough. But the point is, if it's a personal insult or a slight, let them do it again. Keep taking it. That's the point there. Not to let someone kill you. If someone's going to do some harm to you or to your family, you stop them if you can. That's the whole goal. And so defending yourself, more than wise thing to do. Have some sort of protection or those around. It is wise. We're seeing what's happening in churches. We're seeing what's happening in schools. We're seeing what's happening. It's been happening in homes. So, yes, it is not a sin for a Christian to defend himself. Amen.